Hey friend, so if you need help making your backlog even bigger, I think maybe I can help with that. And so can Steam. Welcome to the Steam Autumn Sale, and these are the top 10 most best, goodest, historical best deals, hidden gems, not really, but these are just objectively, mathematically, these are the games that you want to buy. And I know that because these are the games that I want to buy. These are the games that I'm looking to get. They're going in my cart. This is what's happening. But before we get into the top 10 list, I want to shout out a game that I'm publishing, which is This Is Why We Don't Play Golf. It's a rage co-op platformer, minimalistic pixel. It's kind of a meditation on, I don't know, whatever you want to meditate on with your friend, but you can play it solo too, but yeah, you just golf up kind of getting over it style through a kind of mountain maze thing, and, you know, good luck. That's all I gotta say. The demo's out. Much love. But I think let's go ahead and get into, the Steam Autumn Sale top 10 list here. Okay, so no illusion, none of these games have I personally played. Well, I mean, exactly. I mean, I've played probably previous games or whatever, but Sons of the Forest is a game that I'm looking forward to. I actually just, on the last Steam sale, got The Forest for a friend so that I can run through that game with them, and then we'll jump into and play Sons of the Forest, especially for the spooky season. The Forest is, I mean, it's a survival game, but it's not like a big, open, expansive epic. It's really more quaint. It's way more camping. It's like, yeah, it's like a fun, like, camping trip. I mean, with, like, mutated creatures and stuff, and I think it's got, like a fidelity to it that a lot of I don't know, survival games kind of don't have. There's a level of jank that's a little bit missing from this, I think, but overall pretty cool series. I think a lot of people really enjoy it. And honestly, even if you're a little intimidated, at 67% off for a pretty newish game, and by the way, the original Forest is on like a huge sale, yeah, it's like under $10, definitely good to go, and the sales only get better from here. Okay, except for one game. I kind of lied a little bit about the deals are better, but 46% off is a weird metric. Like, why is it 46? Why not just 40 or 50? I don't understand. But Dread Delusion is at like $10, you know, under $11. But this is a very new game. It's a very interesting and niche title that I'm very excited for. There's this sort of renaissance with like dark fantasy exploration, like RPGs, and Dread Delusion is definitely going in an essay coming up soon on just dope games. I don't know what it is about the vibe, but it just, like, I can feel it in my teeth, you know what I mean? So I can't wait to play way more of these stylized dark fantasy games, or just stylized games in general. If you know any, please shout them out. But Dread Delusion is something that I'm just especially hungry for, especially in between kind of like, you know, Souls-likes or RPGs, action RPGs like this. Okay, now let's talk about Icarus. Icarus, when it first launched, was, I think, a little underwhelming and maybe a little glitchy, like literally every survival game ever, and maybe was potentially too epic. I'm not really sure. It definitely has kind of like a weird mixed theme. It looks like you're just like going to be shotgunning mammoths and shit. Like, I don't know, man. It looks ridiculous. At its full price, I mean, it does look like very, like, you know, graphical and intense. And yet still, you know, promises a scope of gameplay that I'm not really used to in survival games normally. Like 7 Days to Die is like, you know, it's just a jankathon and it's fun, you know, comic book adventure like that. But Icarus, at 80% off for $7, I think I can pull the plug, and I think I'm very interested in it. Honestly, even some of the worst survival games have been genuinely just like a good time, if not incredibly memorable. So about the price of friend slop, I think we can all just jump into this game, and even if we don't, you know, permeate every inch of this game, dude, I think we're gonna come and have a lot of fun and shotgun some mammoths. I don't know. Okay, next up is Elite Dangerous, and I actually do have Elite Dangerous Arena that I was gifted a long time ago, and I really kind of need to probably jump into that, or I don't know. But what I have noticed is that there's this surge of people who are really interested in liminal experiences, if it's trucking, if it's climbing, if it's whatever, but also there's like this space race kind of scene happening with like Star Citizen, and a lot of people are really getting into like titles such as, oh my god, what is No Man's Sky, right? No Man's Sky, which I also need to play. That's in my backlog, Jesus. Elite Dangerous, though, I think we need to add this. What's also really cool is the deluxe edition and the expansion is on a huge sale. So for like under $5, you just get all of it in totality. And I think Elite Dangerous is incredibly underrated when it comes to its online and action-based whatever it is. I've seen some gameplay. I didn't want to be spoiled, but I just know that there are moments to this game, and maybe rare, and maybe most of the time in between it, it's a whole lot of just drifting through space. I don't know, but when it's peak, it seems like it's peak. I think that's all I'm gonna say. So I think I'm in the mood for this more like, yeah, I just want to explore the universe, and then Jesus Christ, there's an alien armada, and I don't know, man, just yeah, sure, I'll do that. Okay, Mortal Kombat 11, 95% off is like, I don't know, it's kind of insane, dude, because like it would literally cost more to play like the OG Mortal Kombats in the arcades with like your quarters and coins, right? It would cost more just to play that a few times like back in the day than this game costs now. And so basically I'm saying that because Mortal Kombat X, when I played that, I was so surprised by the storyline. And in fact, a lot of Mortal Kombats kind of have fun single player, in my opinion. If it's not like just the arcade tower climbing, it's like, actually, Mortal Kombat X was kind of cinematic. And so I think Mortal Kombat 11, with its sort of like comic book approach to the storytelling, I'm kind of down. I'm also kind of excited for the new movie, so we'll see how this goes, kind of get into the mood, you know. And it's been a bit since I played a fighting game, since Tekken. So dude, I mean, at under $3, I think you could just throw this on and have a weekend with it, either just by yourself or maybe as a date game. Honestly, it's weird, but girls love Mortal Kombat, guys. Anyways, yeah, $2.50, Mortal Kombat it up. Okay, next we got some nerdy, something really nerdy. Total War Warhammer 3 is 75% off, which was, normally it's a very expensive game, right? So it's still $15, but what a huge experience it is. I'm kind of coming from like a 4X background, like Endless Legend. By the way, hype for Endless Legend 2, the demo's out, but Warhammer 3 looks pretty exciting. I have Warhammer, Total War Warhammer 1 and 2, but now number 3 coming out is pretty exciting. And I feel like, dude, at $15, for some people, like a patient and like budget gamer, that's our peak, right? Like, we ain't gonna spend more than $15. But I gotta say, man, have you guys ever tried to get into like the tabletop? Have you guys ever tried to play, you know, like the painting of the figurines and playing that? Dude, that's way more expensive than $15. So I think this is a good introduction into that world. But I have so many recommendations. Like, lately we've had so many amazing like Warhammer universe games coming out. Please, someone in the comments, just list them. Just freaking, you know, Vermintide and all that. Just list it out there. It's such a cool universe to jump into. Okay, next, I'm a little on the fence about this one, but it is objectively like the best deal, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. 90% off at $5. We have Sniper Elite 5. I don't know why I'm talking like that. I think I could really enjoy a game like this. I actually have like a Hitman sniping game that I also play on mobile. So like, I actually used to, unironically used to play this game called like, it was like Snipers versus Thieves or something. I think I can kind of get into sniping, but I haven't historically. So I'm kind of interested in Sniper Elite 5 because that's like what you do. And I think that could be cool. And you know what, dude, not every game needs to be Call of Duty. Not every game needs to be Halo, you know, like laser beams and rocket launchers. Sometimes you just want to chill and snipe. You don't need the octane exactly. But this game, this series has really I haven't played any of them, right? But it has been so consistent, and honestly, I've enjoyed every clip I've ever seen of it. Maybe it's just pure cinema, I don't know, but at $5, I'm willing to find out. Okay, for my number 3 pick, I have Far Cry Primal because I just skipped this one. Dude, I've played Far Cry since I think like the OG Xbox. I played Far Cry Predator, which was so much fun making maps and playing Predator. I miss you, Crow Ninja and Blackout 52. My boys. But anyways, do you guys ever miss like your Xbox friends, rest in peace? But Far Cry Primal was one that I just sort of missed in between, like, was it in between 3 and 4 and whatever, dude? Like, there's a little bit of Far Cry fatigue, and then at the same time, this is around the same time when every game, Ubisoft or otherwise, was kind of, you know, copying Far Cry 3's open world format. Regardless, when I play Far Cry games, especially back in the day with Predator, I just kind of love like the more primal bows and like CQC kind of gameplay. So honestly, this has always been up my alley. This very like it was the sort of magic or the very like textural primal aspects of Far Cry that I was always you know, appealed to anyways. So yeah, dude, at 90% off. I mean, honestly, I forgot this game even existed. So absolutely, we gotta play it, guys. $3. Let's jump in. Dude, we rarely get like really cool stealth games, let alone like kind of, I think, prehistory, like caveman-ash like games. We don't really get this aesthetic. So, dude, I think we gotta appreciate it when we have it. And at $3, come on. Okay, number 2. I have Haven. I think Haven looks like a really cool date game or whatever. You know, I think 90% off. I love to champion, you know, especially like freaking throwing to $3 games where it's like, yeah, dude, just play a weekend with a partner. I mean, we love Friendslop, right? Like everyone knows that now. But back in the day, I was like the only person doing like co-op list videos or talking about like what it means to be like cooperative and playing with people, you know, games to play with friends or even date games. I think for like years, I was the only person who actually had like a list video that said date games. Haven might be one of those. I don't know. It just seems ew. But I think I'm really into the sort of like Sky, or the, I guess you could say like Journey, or again, kind of going back to Elite Dangerous with these like more liminal traversal kind of games. Yeah, I think we have like Sword of the Sea, or there's some other game where you like ride on a sword. And there's a bunch of games where it's just about traversing a world, exploring it, sometimes together with someone. And I think we're going to see more and more of that cooperatively. So I'm excited. I don't know if you guys want to call these Strand style games, but whatever it is, I think we're all kind of getting into it. And I think Haven might be a really cool introduction into it, because it's still mostly like a story slash like this game is so coded for like play with your girlfriend kind of game, you know? So I don't know, maybe. And finally, Greedfall. Greedfall was, dude, Greedfall, I wanted to play so bad, but I just couldn't afford it. You know, starving artist, dude. All I do is market indie games and stuff. Like, I'm on YouTube barely. Like, I'm trying out here, but like, come on, I can't buy every single game. But Greedfall looked really cool. So on the edge, 90% off, dudes, under $4. Yeah, I can play this game. So action RPGs, I think, really should go more in a direction that's less copy paste, like less like we want to be like Diablo, and definitely less like we want to be like Dark Souls, and we can do a little bit more weird stuff. And I think Greedfall was, I don't know, it was just something a little different, and it wasn't as epic as like The Witcher, and it wasn't as like esoteric and sincere as Dark Souls, and it's not as action grindy as Diablo. Like, I get it, it's not the peak of what you guys all thought of other ARPGs probably, but it's probably not a bad game. I mean, a lot of people liked it, a lot of people enjoyed it. This turned me on to a lot of really cool YouTube channels where I ended up finding a lot of cool content and other games that did some really interesting things. And I think Greedfall, I don't know if you want to call it a B game or not, but at 90%, at $4, dudes, I don't even think there is even a criteria of like B, A, C kind of games. It's just $4, you know, put in your quarters and have a freaking amazing time. And yeah, I don't think I'm not gonna make memories with a game like Greedfall. I think the only thing I want to use this time for is basically to say I wish more games like this were co-op. I love co-op. But yeah, guys, that's my objective Steam Autumn Sale historical best deals list. I hope you guys have fun. Spend some money. I don't know, be consumers, and you know, build up that backlog because it's not big enough, baby. And also add to that backlog the demo of This Is Why We Don't Play Golf. That'd make me happy. That'd be pretty cool. Wishlist it. You know, if you do, maybe I can afford to buy more games. Much love, friends and family. See you in the next one.